Right, we're going to carry on with completing the square. This I'm going to use completing the square to solve equations. I think it's a more efficient method than using the formula. So hit pause, get the lesson objectives down, keywords and the heading. Okay. And on to the starter. So for the starter, write starter, underline, 3 questions, hit pause, have a go. When you're ready, hit play and we'll go over these questions. Right, so let's have a look at these questions. Number 1, state if 2 times n minus 3 is always odd, always even, or sometimes odd and sometimes even. Well, it's 2 times whatever's in the brackets. Whenever you multiply anything by 2, the answer is always going to be even. Because if we just have a look at the 2 times table, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on, the answers are always even. Here's your 2 times 1, 2 times 2, and so on, 2 times 3. So our solution is always even. But you can't just say it's always even. You have to give 3 examples. So let's let n equal 5. That means we've got 2 times 5 minus 3, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. So that's one example. N equals 6. We'll have 2 times 6 minus 3, which is 2 times 3, which is 6. That's a 6. And let's try 7. 2 times 7 minus 3. And that's equal to 2 times 4, which is 8. So make sure you state always even at the end. Question number 2. Factorize and solve this equation. Quadratic. We know it's quadratic. We've got our x squared. So we're going to have 2 brackets when we solve this. So we've got x times x. There's no coefficient of x squared. Makes it much easier. Then we take our 6 and look for factors of 6 that will combine to give us 5. 2 and 3. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 2 plus 3 gives me 5. Perfect. Plus 2 and plus 3. So that's us factorized. Now we've got to solve. So we say this implies that either x plus 2 is equal to 0 or x plus 3 is equal to 0, which means that either x is equal to, let's see if we can get a blue to do our floating thing, plus 2, floats over the equal sign, it becomes minus 2 on the other side. There. So we x equals minus 2, and same here, and we take our plus 3, just change pen color, plus 3, when it crosses the equal sign, it becomes minus 3. So x equals minus 3. And the third question, 3.5 times 10 to the power of 5 is times 200. So if we put everything in standard form, so 3.5 times 10 to the power of 5 times 2 times 10 squared, which is 100. So that's going to be equal to 2 times 3.5, which is 7, times 10 to the power of 5 plus 2, which is 7. Okay? So 70 million. So what I want you to do now is to make corrections where you need them, and then RAG your work. So remember, RAG is for effort. 1, 2, 3, understanding. So green is plenty of effort, did it properly. Amber, You didn't do it, you didn't have as much effort. And red, that's shocking. And 1 is full understanding, and 3 is you need to go over a couple of questions or ask me. Good. So hit pause and do that. Once you're ready, hit play again, and we'll look at an example on completing the square. Okay, so let's have a look at this this example. Example 1. Solve x squared plus 4x minus 6. Now we've got two methods which we use. We can factorize, or we can use a formula. Don't think we can factorize here because the answer is going to be to 2 decimal places. So we could use the formula, or we could complete the square. So let's do that. So we've got x squared, whoops, x squared plus 4x minus 6 equals 0. So we can write x squared plus 4x, take the coefficient of x, the 4, plus 4 over 2, we halve it and then square it, and we take it away as well. 4 over 2 squared minus 6 equals 0. Simplify, so we got x squared plus 4x plus 4 over 2 is 2, 2 squared gives me 4, minus 4 minus 6 equals 0. So just change pen color, let's go blue, and this part of my equation I'm going to factorize. So I'm going to complete the square on that. Back to red. And if I factorize that, I get x plus 2 squared. Minus 4 minus 6 is minus 10, which is equal to 0. I'm going to take that minus 10, float it over the equal sign. So it's minus 10 here, crosses the equal sign, becomes plus 10. So we have x plus 2 squared is equal to 10. And now I'm going to take the square root on both sides. On both sides. Okay. So on the left hand side, that leaves me with x plus 2. And on the right hand side is the square root of 10. Now, it's not just the square root of 10, because that's just a positive answer. It's a positive or negative. Because if I square either of them, I get a positive answer. So that means x plus 2. Let's get x on its own. X is going to be equal to that plus 2 floats over. Let's do that. Plus 2 floats over the equal sign to become a minus 2 on the other side. In red. So x is equal to minus 2 plus or minus the square root of 10. Now, I'm quite happy with this answer because we've got it in third form. However, they want us in 2 decimal places. So we've got to split it up and then put it in our calculator. So that's equal to minus 2 plus the square root of 10, or minus 2 minus the square root of 10. We plug each one into our calculator to get x as equal to either 1.16 or minus 5.16. So those are our solutions. Question 1. What I want you to do is to hit pause and copy this example down. Once you've done that, we'll have a look at another example. Right, so example number 2. Solve x squared plus 6x plus 3 equals 0. So let's write that down. X squared plus 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. So we complete the square first. So we can write x squared plus 6x plus, we take that 6 and halve it, and then we square it. And we take it away as well. 6 over 2 squared plus 3 is equal to 0. Simplify, got x squared plus 6x plus 6 divided by 2 is 3 squared is 9. Minus 9 plus 3 is equal to 0. Right, let's get a blue pen. Oops, if I can, there it is. So this section here, I'm going to factorize. So that leaves me with x squared plus 6x plus 9. This is x plus 3 squared. X plus 3 times x plus 3. Minus 9 plus 3 is minus 6. And that's equal to 0. So let's get the x, let's get the 6 over to the right hand side. It's minus 6 here. So when we float it over, it becomes plus 6 on the right hand side. So we've got x plus 3 squared is equal to 6. So we square root both sides. Both sides. And so we end up with x plus 3 is equal to the square root of 6. Don't forget, plus or minus 6. And to get the x on its own, which means we've solved it, we float the plus 3 over to the right hand side, where it becomes minus 3. And so we have x is equal to minus 3 plus or minus the square root of 6. Like I say, that's a perfectly good solution, but they want 2 decimal places. So we carry on and we say that's equal to minus 3 plus the square root of 6, or minus 3 minus the square root of 6. Got 2 answers, which is going to leave us, when we put it in our calculator, with either minus 0.55 or minus 5.45. I need you to plug that into your calculator just to check that you're happy with putting those numbers and symbols in. Once you've checked it, hit pause, copy the example down, and we'll have a look at question 3, or example 3. And so on we go, on to question 3. We've got x squared plus 8x plus 6 equals minus 7. So a slight difference from the last one. If we write x squared plus 8x plus 6 is equal to minus 7. So we can move the minus 7. So we go minus 7 on the right hand side. If we float it over the equal sign, it becomes plus 7. So we've got x squared plus 8x plus 6 plus 7 equals 0. So now we're in the same format as we were with the first 2 examples. And we simplify, we've got x squared plus 8x plus 13 equals 0. So now we can complete the square. We've got x squared plus 8x plus, take that coefficient of x there and we divide it by 2 and we square the result. And we take it away as well. So 8 over 2 squared plus 13 is equal to 0. So we've got x squared, where we simplify, plus 8x plus half of 8 is 4 squared, we get 16, so minus 16 as well, plus 13 equals 0. And I think we can complete the square on the first part, so we can factorize that first part. Let's go back to red if I can. Interesting. There. So x squared plus 8x plus 16 is the same thing as x plus 4 times x plus 4, or x plus 4 squared, minus 16 plus 13 is minus 3 is equal to 0. So we can float that minus 3 over to the right hand side where it becomes a plus 3. So we end up with x plus 4 squared is equal to 3, and square root both sides. That leaves us with, I don't know what I did with the pen then, there was no need. X plus 4 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 3. And so x is equal to 4, not 4, minus 4, plus or minus the square root of 3. I forgot to put my bubble around, right, plus 4, becomes minus on the other side. Good. So we say x is equal to minus 4 plus root 3, or minus 4 minus root 3. And when we put that in the calculator, we get minus 2.27 or minus 5.73. Which are our solutions then, two solutions for x. Good. Hit pause. Write this example down. I've got a couple of questions I want you to try before I give you your classwork. So hit pause, write it down. When you're ready to have a look, hit play again. Okay, 4 questions for you to try quickly. Again, the solutions to these are to 2 decimal places. So hit pause, have a go. When you're ready, hit play again, and you can check your solutions. Right, let's have a look. So we got x squared plus 6x plus 1. You should have minus 0.17 and minus 5.83. On 2, you should have 7.61 and 0.39, both positive. Interesting. On 3, you should have 5.74 and minus 1.74. It could be either way around. And then finally on number 4, you should have minus 0.38 and minus 2.62. So hit pause, rate your effort, and then write classwork, and I've got a few questions for you. And classwork for you. So on question 3, you don't need a calculator because they've said leave your answers in third form where appropriate. So if you don't get a whole number, just leave it in third form. No need to put it in the calculator. However, on question number 4, you got to complete the square and give your answers to 2 decimal places, as we've been doing. So you got to change that third into decimals. Good luck.